again, come on into the room, be coachable, teachable, trainable, and post your city and state where you are catching this live from. Go ahead and tap the screen and share the stream so that others in your community can see how to select colors and fonts that speak to your brand. So if you don't know, colors and fonts are extremely powerful tools inside of your brand because they actually help you speak to your perfect clients. They help you reach your audience. They help you reinforce your brand. So if you did not know that, then definitely grab your favorite pen and pad and go ahead and take these copious notes so that you can learn this information on today.
Hey y'all, hey, Brandmaster Martina, Britt, Yelverton here, reminding you about our new open office hours and our free Brand You community. Join us every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live, actionable lessons on building your brand from scratch. We'll cover everything from tools, strategies, and systems like Canva, Industry Dominator GHL, StreamYard, AI Tech, and more, to include the exact steps to take you from confused to confident about your business and brand. And the best part is, after each and every live stream, you can hop on Zoom with us to ask questions and get personalized answers. Do not miss out. Mark your calendar and subscribe now to our YouTube channels. Join our free community, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. If you want to learn, lead, and level up your automation in your MLM company or as an entrepreneur struggling in your brand or business, we not only have the solution, we also have the experts. Yes, this is your sign to join us. Our entire team is live each and every weekday. Cortez is the one and only followpreneur at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, founder of the PLR Profit Society, your brand master at 1 p.m., founder of the Brand You Agency, and you can binge watch Bridget, our automations and AI specialist, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you snooze, you will lose. I said what I said. You heard what you heard. Now do what you know you need to do to get your assets in order, to learn, to lead, and to level up.
What's going on, good people? Brandmaster Martina, Britt, Yelverton here, your brand master, your cash flow queen, and founder of the #1 legal tax hack to hire your kids in your own home-based business, so should you choose to do so. And typically you'll find me live each Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving you guys assets, value, and information with regards to branding and business building. So typically I help entrepreneurs like you get your assets in order so that you can go from being stuck and struggling, possibly inside of a business or a company brand, to actually gaining impact and influence inside of your own personal brand so that you can attract those who need your value, who need your offer. And I teach you how to do it from the comfort of your own home, right? So you can catch your coins in the paper that folds, right? So on today, we are actually discussing the all-important color fonts that actually speak to your brand. And so some of you may believe there's not a mindset behind color theory, however, there is. If you think about it, tell me a time where you have come into contact with a specific color and it emoted some type of emotion in you. It evoked an emotion in you. Yes, yes. What's going on? So good to see you, AK. Like what, Alexander, so good to see you as well. So what actually invoked an emotion in you, right? It probably was the shape of something and the perception that you had when you saw the shape of something that actually made you stop in your tracks and look. So you have colors that could be represented in caution, that could cause you to stop. Think about a traffic light. Red means stop, yellow means take caution, green means go. These colors actually have some type of evoking and emotive energy behind them. And you have to think about that with regards to a brand. Most times, and I'm going to pull up and share a screen here on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, because over here on these areas, you guys are available to see the screen that I'm sharing. However, sorry, TikTok and IG, you guys are not. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this to the screen and allow you guys to see this information here on the screen. And I'll discuss it hopefully with enough clarity so that you guys can understand it. But let's look at the color psychology behind some of this so that you can understand where I'm coming from with this. Why do the colors matter in branding? Think about it. 90% of people make a snap judgment based on color. When you see a black, you think elegant, right? When you possibly see a blue, you think trust. When you see a gold, you may think pristine. You may think some level of hierarchy. Okay. When you see a red, you may see excitement. Some people see caution. Some people see passion. Some people see courage, right? When you see orange, a lot of people think creativity. They think sports. They think transportation. So it depends on the perceiver's thought process. However, generally across the board, there are 12 colors that literally affect how you can act and how you can feel subconsciously about a brand, about a person, right? About a situation. Most times you'll see two different hues of green, and you could think safety, but you could also think growth. You could think environment. There are different things that you could think when you see colors that may or may not resonate with you. What's going on, Christy? That may or may not resonate with you with regards to a brand. And there's a psychology behind it. Also, if you think about the color blue, a lot of banks use blue, right? Because they emit trust. The health industry uses blue, again, because it emits trust, right? While red actually conveys energy, caution, excitement. Think about Coca-Cola. So think about another one that's a mix of those two appearing. Pepsi uses blue and red, excitement, but trust, right? I'm trying to get you to understand that even when you throw another color into it, like a red and a green, Burger King, double caution, but also double excitement, double enthusiasm coming from that mixing of the pairs. So you have to be careful when you're pairing colors because, hey, you also have to think about readability. All right. So what I want to do is actually talk to you really quickly about tools like Canva and Adobe Color. If you've never heard of either of these and you don't want to pay for either of these, you have the option to utilize other options that are free. Adobe Express is a way that you can actually generate a color palette, and it will allow you to see the colors, and there's a tool in there that will also allow you to see the fonts so that you can ensure readability remains pristine. It doesn't make sense to have a beautiful logo with an amazing tagline, which we talked about on yesterday. However, when you actually add the fonts and the colors to it, you can't read it. That does not make sense. What's going on, Churro? So good to see you, Mr. Reynolds and Elva Jade, Awaken with Elva, Marvin, right? You have to think about all of this. So while I'm going to show you this amazing tool, and if you go to color.adobe.com, if you have an Adobe account, or if you don't want to pay for it and you want to use the free Adobe Express option, you can do that as well. But here's one of the things I thought was really dope inside of adobe.com. You can actually pay attention to the color contrast that happens when you're choosing fonts and colors, which of course is today's topic, how to select colors and fonts that will speak to your brand. So specifically, I'm just going to utilize the default that comes here on the screen. And as you see here in a pretty large screen, I do believe, yeah, you guys can see it here on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Sorry, TikTok and IG. But when you're looking at fonts, you have to think about the pairing of fonts with regards to the color use, okay? And I'm going to show you this really nifty and neat thing that happens. Across the bottom here, it will give you an option to let you know as you begin to build and develop your brand, whether or not this color selection that you love, whether or not it is legible, whether or not it actually makes sense, whether or not it can be useful, or whether or not it can repel people from your brand. So think about it. You could be a person who loves what we have here on the screen, which is pink and black. And you could say, hey, I love this particular font as well. And this is what the color palette that I want to work with. Okay. So think about it. If you're looking at the fact that you don't love a solid, harsh black, which would pass for the ability to read it as a regular text, a large text, and any of your icons or your logo up against the pink, hey, that looks great. It would pass for readability and clarity. However, if you shaved off and went to a white, it actually would fail only because the contrasting makes it a slight bit harsh for readability and clarity. However, if you decided to shift the color of that pink for contrast, look what happens. Now at a larger text, it will pass. Your icons would pop. Let's go to a deeper pink. And as you begin to go deeper, now your white is popping off on that pink, and now you can see it a bit better. All right. And so you want to think about that. So let's put a couple to the test here. And let's go over into the Canva account. And I don't know if you guys know, but you can actually set up as a business owner who has clients with various brands. You can set up multiple kits inside of Canva so that you are available to work on projects with expediency, expeditiously, urgently, in a snap, by already having their kits, their logos, their images, their icons, and everything in their own folder. So when you're actually designing for them, you can actually click on their brand kit. All of their colors, all of their fonts, all of their logos, all of their icons, graphics, images will show up. And now you're able to design templated on the fly using the software. And again, if you guys do not have access to a Canva account, you are available to go to Canva.Martina Britt Yelverton at any time. Go ahead and grab your free Canva account. And the beautiful thing about it is when you do this, you are available to share that Canva account with your girl, and I would be able to assist you with, some of your templates and some of your graphics. That is a possibility. Okay. So let's go. And let's say specifically, let's grab this one here from Bride of Christ Robes. And we want to compare their website with a few of their colors. So I'm going to grab this darker hue of pink here, and I'm going to throw that into the color wheel here. All right. And then I'm going to go back over there, and I'm going to grab out of the Canva account a shade out of their logo of the darker color black. And we're just popping these in here live so that you can see what that looks like. It doesn't look like it brought it over. Copy. There we go. All right. And so as you see, that darker hue of this pinkish color, this fuchsia looking color, and their color palette failed for all three. However, if we take that and make that a very, very light blue, which of course you see is not in their color palette, it would pass. However, let's go with our standard white hue, and let's go all the way to the left and get white. Pass, pass, pass against their brand color. Because remember what I told you guys when we were talking about the brand itself and we were setting up the logos. Always know that your logo should be delivered to you in a black, in a white, full color, grayscale, monochromatic colors, as well as in a horizontal or vertical format. It should come to you in multiple formats for print, for web, for social media, for merch, and via animation. You should have an array of options for your logo so that you can use it on multiple media. So you want to be able to take that white logo and that white text and be able to utilize one of the premier brand colors here and be able to not feel when you display it that your audience is not going to be able to read it, understand it, see it, utilize it, and all of that. Hope that makes sense for you guys. Okay. Also, we could pick a different set of color pairing in here just to see. So obviously, if we go and select this pastel shade of pink, again, that is inside of their logo, and I'll pull up the website here specifically so that you can see, not Bridget's, Bride of Christ Robes, so that you can see fairly they have a lighter brand color palette. However, if you will notice, here's a hue of their color palette. Here's a hue of their color palette. All of these are represented inside of their logo. And then if you begin to look at some of the robe pairings here, you also see a mixed use of a darker hue, as well as the robe pairings that are in the various collections. right? We didn't just willy-nilly and pick or choose any old design. We were looking at some of the row pairings. There is a variant of a charcoal black, a deep rigid black, again with white piping. We want to use there is again an off black here with some silver, and like I'm telling you guys, it's not just picking a color that resonates just for a logo. You want to pick a color that resonates throughout the brand, not just specific to just the logo. You want to make sure that you consistently pull that color pairing across multiple media throughout the website, as well as in the product, the services, or the merchandise that is within the brand. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Okay. In addition, when you're looking at the color pairing, you want to be able to make adjustments because you may have to pair your color palette in your brand, in your logo, on your entire design against another. Think about collaborative partnerships and ensuring that when you collaborate with another brand, that your specific brand still is able to be readable, legible, and still mirrors and matches with some sense of cohesiveness across both platforms. And you want to make sure that it is of value for them, for you, and all of it, okay? So in regards to that, let's talk just a little hair about, let's see if I can get the screen to shift out here. There we go. Let's talk just a little bit about the brand personality with regards to those colors and those fonts, right? You have to know in advance when you're going through your brand voice whether or not you're being bold, professional, or playful. Y'all know I'm country casual, right? However, if I am called in to speak for a platform of professional women, while my country twang will remain, I would code switch, for lack of a better word, and become more professional in my delivery. Think about that with regards to what the fonts look like. So in case you have no earthly idea, fonts themselves too can emit a feeling. When you think about a serif font, okay, like Times New Roman, it's classic. It's everywhere. It's, to me, generic and general. However, when you think about a sans serif font, like a Montserrat, it is more modern and clean. And to try to give you some understanding, let me see if I can get this pulled up here on the web. And I'm just going to say, where'd my Google search go? Let's go sans versus serif to see if I can get you some visual examples of that to give you some clarity. All right, here's a really, really great one. Nice, clean, black and white, easy to see, easy for you guys to understand. Again, for those of you who are actually watching on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Okay, what's going on, Tim Tinker? So good to see you. Waving at you, my friend. Hope things are going well with you. All right, so here specifically, you're able to see the difference between a sans serif and a serif font. You're looking at the classic nature. And when you think about century and not Gothic, but century time and Elizabethan times, you're thinking about those added serif areas of a font. These are clear. These are clean. These are flowing. These have a feeling of movement to them. However, a sans serif font is more crisp, edgy. It is very restrained, modern in its delivery. So you have to think about if that makes sense for your brand. For me, being a casual person who loves nice, clean lines, for me, I prefer a sans serif font like a Montserrat. Okay. I prefer the clean of it. To me, it makes it very clutter free. It makes it easy to see. And I ensure that that is represented throughout all of my branding. So when you go to my main website, you're able to see a Montserrat, a clean, crisp font. When you go to the actual funnels that I create, again, all of my funnels will have a Montserrat font. And you know, we talk about this all the time, consistency. throughout all of my branding, marketing, even in my merchandise, even in some of the canvases that I sell. You're going to see the same simple sans serif font throughout all of my branding. Even if you're looking on the YouTube channel and you're looking at the various things that come through as far as thumbnails are concerned, you're going to be seeing the exact same branding. Nice, bold. Let's see if I can pull it up here on there we go. As a layover, you're going to see the nice, bold, clean fonts, right? Because that's the branding, that's the clarity, that is the readability that I want repeated through all of my brands. So you have to think about that when you're determining the colors for your branding, when you're thinking about the fonts, because the fonts are going to create a visual consistency, and you want to make sure that it's readable, right? When you're thinking about putting out large bodies of content, you have to think about typography and spacing, making sure that if you're using a lot of text, you want to break that text up with imagery. You want to break that text up with white space. These are things that professionals think about that novice and new designers have no clue about, i.e., sometimes it pays to go ahead and just go to school and learn this information, right? But you want to think about that when you're pairing your fonts for your headlines and your secondary font for body style. So if you think about, let's go back to the main web here, ensuring that you guys can see that. Yes, you can. Okay, so even if you're going to the main web here, you're going from what is considered a Montserrat with a little bit of elegant in, because you know, this is casual, but I got a little twang. I put a little bling every here and there, right? You want to make sure that it's not too overly, as we discussed yesterday, complicated, that it's not too cluttered. And you want to make sure that, again, it continues to resonate with your people. So we're talking about header, bold fonts that look good and stand out against non-bold fonts. You have to think about that even with regards to your web, your social media, what you can change, what you can't change. Think about the pairings and what that looks like, right? And then you can also use a tool like Font Pair, and that will help you create harmonious combinations as well. So I hope you guys are understanding this. I know for those of you who like to hear the bells and the whistles of all of this, probably aren't really interested in these details. However, you want to make sure that when you create these things, that it does continue to speak to your brand as well as your audience. So let me ask you this question before we begin to get into the mistakes and things to avoid. What emotions do you want your audience to feel when they see your brand? What do you want them to see in their mind's eye, right? And do you currently already have a color pairing or a set of fonts that you prefer that actually resonate with your brand? So listen to that question closely. Do you have a pair of fonts that actually resonate with your brand, right? That you feel speak to your audience as well. I probably said that in two different forms, but you'll get what I'm saying. Drop that information below, of course, so that I can see if there's assistance that you need. I would love to pop over into the private Zoom room with you for the Q&A session that happens directly following these lives. And you can go to learnleadandlevelup.com, join our free brand community. Come on into the community with us. Ask your brand questions. This is a new community that we set up separate from any of our other communities, only for this particular brand journey. So we offered and we opened up a small segment of the Brand Master network for you guys to come in, join us live to ask your burning questions right now via learnleadandlevelup.com, right? Outside of that, everything outside of that is pretty much a paid commitment, but this is free to you guys to come in here, to learn with us, to get access to this information, and to ask your burning questions so that we can get those answers for you, okay? So let's talk about one of the number one mistakes that you need to avoid. Hear me clearly. Let me look you in your face. Let me make sure you understand where I'm going with this information. The number one thing that you need to avoid is using too many colors and too many fonts. This creates visual clutter, right? Meaning it's overwhelming for a person coming upon or getting access to your brand. It's too much. One of the tricks that I learned when I was in school is when you're designing, go ahead and design it what you feel is visually comfortable. And as soon as you think you're done, remove something. Generally, what will happen is it will clear up the space for you. So I went through reconstructing the YouTube page right here at the top. This image here at the top. I went through reconstructing this page because for the longest time, it was a white page. And you see, I like my online data to be in a dark theme. This may not be what it looks like when several of you go. You guys may come, and when you come over here, you may see a white thing. And when you come to my YouTube channel, it may look like this to you. The reason I love that it looks like this to most people is because it makes my thumbnails pop off the page. For me, I like everything being smooth and cohesive, similar to even if you look at the items that are on the wall behind me. I have a light shell gray wall paint in here, but it makes my dark gray curtains or my black canvases pop off of the wall. And it's not a white wall. It's actually a slate shell gray. And you can see the difference because if you look at the ceiling and the trim, it's white. But when I was creating this particular header, I probably went through about 5 or 6 iterations of this because, of course, we wanted to keep the books, not specifically so that you guys could see the titling of the books, but so that it could be, there's a plethora of books that you're available to get from the brand master. And the question is how? Now we have an opportunity to speak with each other. But what I wanted to pop off of the header was the graphic, web, and social media branding, right? And if you're also trying to figure out what are the systems of the softwares that I use, I made sure those were in color as well. What I actually ended up going through was removing anything that dealt with more imagery, because I thought, hey, previously, if you guys were available to see the branding before, it had me actually sitting at the table with the Youth Lifestyle Training workbooks and all of that. It actually had me in a different get up over here, and things were larger. However, I chose to change this out because I created the whole thing and then I removed images, which cleaned it up. So when you're thinking about that for your brand, remember, do not create visual clutter. I promise you, when you create visual clutter, you literally are repelling your ideal client, your audience member, or the person who actually is seeking you to work with you. Also, if you're ignoring accessibility, one of the things that you will run into is if you are an individual and you realize a lot of your audience, because you've done the demographics and you've paid attention to it, that your clients are colorblind. If you're ignoring that particular aspect of your audience, then you are actually ignoring their ability to access your information. So this is one of the reasons you would know more about your audience, to ensure that you are not ignoring their accessibility to your information. You need to make sure that your colors are easy to read for all audience, or as many as possible, but more importantly, your ideal client or customer. You're probably going, how do I know that? Well, that's one of the reasons that you need to come into the Dollar Deals membership, because here inside of the Dollar Deals membership, and I'm showing you guys this here again on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, we have 9 core visualization modules. And one of the main things that we cover in there is knowing who your target, or being able to target through Targeting 101, your ideal customer or client, being able to understand who that avatar is, which is the original you. So if you've never heard this before, hear me clearly now. Again, let me look you in your eye. Your ideal customer or client is the old you, the original you, the person who had problems, who had questions, who had chaos or confusion, anything about that particular individual that was struggling, who is no longer struggling right now, that is who you are primed and most passionately purposed to serve right now. Why? Because you didn't already cross that threshold. You've already overcome that particular obstacle, right? You are walking around in triumph of whatever that trial or that tribulation was. That is the most important one person that you are available to help right now. So if you've just completed a journey and you've just overcome something, you are available to now help someone else. And why would you be most prepared for that? Because you just did it. All you need to be is one step ahead. Okay? So I hope you guys have been able to glean something from why the colors are important, why the fonts are important, that you understand this is necessity with regards to your brand and making your brand accessible. I hope if you do have brand questions for today that you will join us over in open office hours live right here at learnleadandlevelup.com. You'll go ahead and register, get your account. You'll go ahead and join us inside of the actual Zoom room. And I'm going to show you where that's located at for those of you who are on LinkedIn, who are on Facebook, and who are on YouTube. When you come into the community, you're going to come right up here to the events tab. And inside of the events tab, you're going to go to today's date. And here you're actually going to join us via this link. Now, if you want to add it to your calendar, yay and yay, because now you'll get the notifications, and ensure that you go ahead. If you do not have an account with Fathom, go ahead and get an account with Fathom, fathom.martinabrityelverton.com. Why would I tell you to go and get an account with fathom.martinabrityelverton.com? Because sometimes you may be trying to pay attention to all of the information you are learning. The best way to do that is to actually pay attention and allow this pen or pad who may miss a note or two, to allow this memory who may not remember a note or two. Fathom takes notes of everything, and it comes with a recording that is automatically sent out to you immediately upon completing the actual Q&A session. Okay, so that is how you access it. That is my information for you on today. I hope again that you have been able to glean from all of this something of value, and that it makes sense to you, that it resonates with you, and that you will tap the screen and share the stream so that others inside of your network can get access to this information. That's my time for today. I appreciate your time and your ability to invest in you and invest your precious time, which you can't get back, into yourself so that you can learn, you can lead, and you can level up out here in these internet streets. I appreciate you all on today, and I will see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow's topic is actually creating a brand voice your audience will love. I hope you guys will join us for that on tomorrow. To your success, guys. Catch you in open office hours, learnleadandlevelup.com.
Hey y'all, hey, Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton here, reminding you about our new open office hours and our free Brand You community. Join us every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live actionable lessons on building your brand from scratch. We'll cover everything from tools, strategies, and systems like Canva, Industry Dominator GHL, StreamYard, AI Tech, and more, to include the exact steps to take you from confused to confident about your business and brand. And the best part is, after each and every live stream, you can hop on Zoom with us to ask questions and get personalized answers. Do not miss out. Mark your calendar and subscribe now to our YouTube channels. Join our free community, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. If you want to learn, lead, and level up your automation in your MLM company, or as an entrepreneur struggling in your brand or business, we not only have the solution, we also have the experts. Yes, this is your sign to join us. Our entire team is live each and every weekday. Cortez is the one and only fatherpreneur at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, founder of the PLR Profit Society, your brand master at 1 p.m., founder of the Brand You Agency, and you can binge watch Bridget, our automations and AI specialist, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you snooze, you will lose. I said what I said. You heard what you heard. Now do what you know you need to do to get your assets in order, to learn, to lead, and to level up.